I know that I have beliefs about myself from time to time that are just not supportive, but I also know that I have a system that, one, gets to the bottom of them, and two, helps me get out of my own way. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing exactly how you can do this, even if you don't know what those beliefs are. This could literally change everything for you. Jordan Belfort said that the only thing standing between you and your goal is the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't achieve it. Big dreams and bold plans will almost always have at least one obstacle. Now, you can view these as external, so other people's judgments and opinions, or they'll be internal ones, and that's quite often that small voice that is very persistent that lives inside your head. This is resistance and your own self-limiting belief about yourself as to why you can or can't achieve something. And this resistance, that usually comes from fear. It's a powerful psychological process. It's not just procrastination or you faffing around. It's actually you trying to protect yourself, keep you within your comfort zone so you don't go out there and get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. That's how your brain works, by the way. What you're doing underneath it all is fundamentally recognizing that you want to make a change, you're about to make a change, and your brain wants to protect yourself. As you're protecting yourself from modern day things like social media or other people's judgment, it's not a saber-toothed tiger, it's not going to kill you. So I'm going to teach you a way that you can genuinely change the way you think about your beliefs using the way your actual mind works. So it's going to show you evidence. So we're going to go through a process and it's going to help you, one, overcome the resistance that you have, two, overcome the self-limiting voice in your own head, and three, start helping you to build evidence to support new, very positive ways of thinking about yourself. If you're thinking more positively about yourself, don't you think you could probably achieve more? So let's get into it. This is a 6-step process. The first step in the process is to think of a goal you want to achieve, whether that's a personal thing or professional thing, in the next 6 months. And be really specific about it. So we want something that's very tangible. Perhaps that's promotion, perhaps it's start your own podcast. When you think of this thing, and before over-analysing any of it, I want you to list out all the stuff that you feel resistant about. So it could be that you want a promotion, but in the back of your mind you think your boss will never support you. Or it might be that you're just not ready for it. At the root of that resistance is the fear that I mentioned. So the fear of judgment, the fear of failure, the fear of generally just not being enough. So number 3, the next step in the process is to pick the biggest thing that holds you back. So the biggest part of resistance. And I want you to ask yourself the following question. If this is true, what does it mean about me? And what you're going to do is you're going to ask this question until you get to the actual root of the problem. So the underlying belief about yourself as to why you can't achieve it. Going to keep asking, and it's just like how you would peel an onion. Is that a thing? Let's take, I want to start a podcast as an example. Maybe the resistance that comes up is, who would want to listen to me? So ask yourself the question, if this was true, what would that mean about me? And the answer may be, I just don't have a lot to say. So if that is true, what would that mean about me? The next step might be, I'm just not that interesting. So if that is true and you weren't that interesting, what does that mean about me? So fundamentally, underneath it all, that final answer would be, I'm boring, or I'm just not enough. So once you have that underlying belief, you have to be really honest with this. I want you to think of an alternative, so this is step number 4, an alternative thought that you can replace that belief with. So instead of, I'm not enough, you could say, if you were being more positive about yourself, I am more than enough. Perhaps it's got to the point, say you did a promotion and the underlying belief was that you were unlovable. The other alternative, more positive approach might be, I am appreciated and loved by those around me. So you need to think of an alternative expression that you can tell yourself. It's now time to test that out and build the evidence to support this new positive belief. So at the start of the week, it's a Tuesday, let's start on a Tuesday, I want you to sit down and ask yourself, what percentage-wise do you actually believe that to be true? So using my podcast as an example, the fact that I feel like I'm not enough, I would say at the start of the week, 40% I believe that I am actually more than enough. So it's 40%. And what I then want to train myself to do, and you have to tell yourself to do that, so do treat this as an experiment. I want to go out and I want to look for ways in which this new approach actually is true. So if it's I'm saying I am more than enough, I want to look for evidence that supports this. So maybe I do a good piece of work, or I have some positive feedback from a client, and that would make me feel actually perhaps I am more than enough. And as the week goes on, you keep collecting the more positive evidence that is right in front of you. So you're also training your brain to look for more positive things that support this new belief. The brain is so clever, and according to Dr. Tali Sharot, you need to find new evidence to support the new belief. It's as simple as that. Point 6, point 7, point 6. Do the same thing again the following week, and this time you might believe the new positive belief, say 50%, and you go out and you look for evidence to support this instead of the negativity throughout your week and as the week goes on. So 50% you might support this new belief that you are more than enough. The following week, you've got more evidence, so maybe it's 55%. Keep looking for it and keep writing it down. If your experience supports this, you've looked for the good in your life, so you're training your brain to see this, and you start to build your evidence. Over time, with some work, admittedly, you're going to change the way you fundamentally think about yourself. Resistance and the stuff that goes on in our heads, those negative thoughts, they only have power if we give the power to them. Now, don't get me wrong, there will always be days where self-doubt lingers, things feel hard, and that's when you go back and you focus on the evidence again. This kind of thing can really work if you just put a bit of effort into it. And remember, growth does not happen in a straight line. It is never linear, but it's giving yourself the belief and the new evidence to support the person that you want to become in the future. So I'd love to know, what are you going to be working on? Drop some comments below as to why you can see this would work, why it wouldn't work, anything that you want to share, and I'd love to hear how you get on.